We like to think that change happens in a linear way. The idea of planning, executing, and closing out a change project gives us a feeling of certainty. While it sounds logical to think about the current state and imagine the future state, that type of thinking does little more than reassure our brains that we have everything under control. We think that change has a starting point and an ending point, but where we get stuck is in the messy middle, where uncertainty, chaos, and frustration can reign supreme. Sure, we might have finished all the change tasks in our project, but it can be difficult to know if we've reached the utopian future state that we dreamed of. To make matters more difficult is how we are constantly bombarded with data that tells us we're going to fail 70% of the time. However, when you actually look at the data, it shows that about 30% of the time we accurately guess the outcome of the change, 56% of the time it kinda sorta works, and it outright fails only 18% of the time. Whether you're rolling out an IT system or undertaking a digital transformation, you still want to know a better way to facilitate change in today's fast-paced organizations. Different communities have different answers for this question. HR focuses on performance management, change management on process, agile on mindset and values, and remind me what organizational development people do again? What would happen if we took the good ideas from these communities, threw out the old outdated ideas, and combined them to cook up a contextualized and adaptable approach to change? Whatever change you're working on, you need insights about the system you're trying to change. Those insights might come through observation, surveys, and interviews. Once you have an understanding about the system, you can start to create options. Options are up for negotiation with those affected by the change because each option has a different cost and some will take longer than others to complete. Now we're ready to experiment. Experiments work great in times of uncertainty, but there are times when tasks or high-risk interventions might make more sense. Different experiments need different levels of planning. You start with a hypothesis and create some measurements before you introduce the change into the organization. And be careful to not introduce too many changes too quickly. After the experiment has run its course, you review what happened, and that feedback becomes input into your next set of experiments. When you put these ideas together, you end up with lean change management, a feedback-driven approach to change that has been designed by merging good ideas from agile, change management, HR, and organizational development that are wrapped in lean startup thinking. Yesterday's linear and plan-driven models simply aren't able to keep up with today's pace of change. But wait a minute, where's the plan? How does communication happen? How do we get buy-in? Using lean change management out of the box allows you to visualize your change work in a simple Kanban board. The depth of planning is entirely up to you and the level of risk and uncertainty your change initiative has. Using the ideas from Kanban, you create a pull-based approach for change that focuses on just-in-time creation of experiments that allow the flexibility to change your plan when you need to. Your Kanban board becomes your communications plan because it's made visible throughout the office and it's not hidden on an intranet site or in a project file somewhere. As for buy-in, lean change management is focused on involving the people who have to live with the day-to-day consequences of the change into the design of the change. After all, the people who write the plan don't fight the plan. Find more inspiration, tools, stories, and more about how to modernize your approaches for change at leanchange.org.